Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to the Olivet City Center, Olivet City Council meeting for November 12th, 2024. It is 7:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, please do the roll.
Mayor Waldman,
I am here.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Here.
Councilmember Clark,
Here.
Councilmember Carl,
Here.
Councilmember Weil. Here.
Thank you very much. We have all five in attendance. All right. The very next thing we have is communications. Am I going to go this way or this way?
You can go either way.
All right, I will go to the city manager.
Okay, so we have some staff to introduce. And we have two individuals who are here and one individual who is online. So who would you like first?
Let's go with the one online.
Okay, so Linda, we are going to allow you to talk. Carlos, would you like to introduce Linda? And Linda, if you have an opportunity, can you put your camera on so everybody can see you?
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't say anything about the camera. It just says, like, I can mute, raise my hand, chat, captions.
On the left side, does it say video?
No.
Interesting.
Do you have a video plugged in and set into it?
I'm on the phone.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, that might be more difficult to see your video on your phone.
Well, we'll let Carlos introduce you
Right.
and then maybe we'll send a photo to the council tomorrow.
Absolutely. Good
Right,
evening,
right.
Mayor, members of the council. My name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Olivet. And I have the pleasure to introduce Linda Stevens online. She is our new permit tech who assists us in manning the front desk. She does some right-of-way reviews, some permit filing and coordination and scheduling. She joined our team about 2 months ago, and we're really glad to have her on board. And she has a background in inspections and her prior knowledge, and she's been a great asset to the city and our departments.
I think technically we've all really already met Linda if we've come into the office and gone right up to the reception area. So Linda, you get a pass for not having your video on because we got
Good.
you, we know you. But thank you for being a part of the meeting tonight and expressing yourself and saying hello. All right.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
All right, and so I will say Amina Barak, she's ill. She did not come into work today, but she is our new court administrator. She comes to us from St. Louis County Courts. So if you've also come in during the day, she sits where Sarah used to sit. And of course, you could always just come and watch a court session on a random Wednesday court meeting and meet her then. But if you were at the Domo grand opening or the soft opening, she was there, or the chili cook-off, she was also there. So I think some of you have met her as well. And then our last two individuals are in our Parks and Rec department. So if Beverly would like to come up and introduce her new staff members.
So good evening, Mayor and council members. Beverly Tucker Knight, Parks and Recreation Director. So this evening, I have the pleasure of introducing two new employees. First, I have with me Christoph Wiegel, who is our new Recreation Coordinator in charge of sports. So Christoph is doing all of the youth leagues, as well as working with the fitness programs, our new fitness programs, and overseeing those staff in the fitness area. And then he's also working to develop new adult athletic programs. That's one of our goals for the coming year. So Christoph comes to us from working in an international school in Austria. He lived in Austria for 9 years and completed his college there through Webster University. And he not only is new to our region, but he also is a new Olivet resident. So he and his wife moved to Olivet. So we're very thrilled to have Christoph with us. He brings an extensive background in athletics and sports, and he loves sports. So it's a very good fit.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to start and yeah, working along everyone here. So thank you.
Welcome. Soccer or baseball?
Big soccer fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big baseball fan.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome.
Great. And next up, I have Marshall Monroe. So Marshall is officially named Richard, but he prefers Marshall, and we love pleasing him by calling him Marshall. So Marshall is our new building maintenance technician, and he joined us a couple months ago and has already made a dramatic change in the operations of Five Oaks. So we are thrilled to have him. So Marshall, before working in Olivet, worked for many years with Lou Fuse in charge of all of their facilities across 18 locations. 18 locations. And Marshall's a proud dad of 5 children. And he grew up in a race car shop, which is pretty cool. And Marshall likes to say that he can fix anything. And so far, we believe that 100% because he every day he makes an incredible difference for us. So we're happy to have him.
Yeah, thanks. Happy to be here. I think I've met most of you, so yeah. And I'm a baseball fan. Go Cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to the city. I do have to ask a question from my younger days. Did you go to the race car track that's out there off of like 55 and
Yes, I
play
grew
in
up
that?
around there. Yes,
Huh?
I grew up around there. My dad had modifieds. We built them and drove them around the track there. Yep.
Then I must have known your dad when I was younger and went and ate that dust for a
Yeah.
long
All
time.
all in your
Yeah.
drink. Delicious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. But I
Great.
knew a mechanic that worked on race cars out there
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
So welcome aboard.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome. I'm not a big baseball fan
Oh,
or
man.
soccer fan. I'm a football fan.
That's
you
okay.
know.
Well, they have you covered, both Christoph
Yeah.
and Marshall.
Yeah, see, a
Yeah.
lot of people didn't know I played for the Rams for 3 years.
Really?
Ladue High School Rams. Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
So-
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm still a Ram.
It's still a Rams.
That is illustrious history.
Yes, indeed. We did very good that
And,
year.
well, all of you, welcome. You are in a great city and you will do wonderful things representing the city as employees. So again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I thought you were going to talk about car engines because you like car and truck engines. All right. Okay, Madam City Manager.
Yes, so Mr. Sansone's online,
Okay,
so I will
that's good news.
allow him to talk.
Okay,
So Mr. Sansone, you should have the floor and are ready to talk to the council.
Yes, I'm here. I'm having the same issue. I'm on my phone as well. I apologize. I'm traveling. So I'm having the same issues as Linda had. But can everybody hear me?
we can hear you.
Okay, there's no options for me to join by video or anything like that. But good evening, everybody. Mayor Waldman, appreciate everybody's time. Recently, we received a notice from the city in regards to the parcel that we consider the out parcel of the Oliver, which is a half-acre parcel. As it's been undeveloped. We've not made progress on finding a tenant. I had a brief conversation with Jennifer Yackley, city manager, and then Mark Spikerman as well. I think it was in the middle of October after we received notice that the city's not pleased with the lack of development or the lack of attention that's been paid to that particular parcel. Since then, we have hired Pace Properties. They have been officially engaged as of, I want to say, a couple weeks ago to market that property. Prior to that engagement, in 2022 and 2023, mainly 2022, we attempted to lease or sell that parcel of ground on our own. We were unsuccessful. And, to be completely candid with you all, we've simply just, dropped the ball, on that particular parcel. The letter that we received, we now, has certainly got our attention. We understand the circumstances. We understand, the situation, and we're going to do our best to find a suitable tenant for that particular parcel. Beyond that, I'm happy to answer any questions around it.
Does anyone have any questions that they have for Mr. Sansone at this time?
I think for the purposes of the audience, could you be more specific? We all up here know what the parcel is, but I don't know if people realize it's the parcel in front of the parking garage next, just west of the Oliver. Because there are some quizzical faces in the audience, so I wanted to clarify that.
Fine. Do you have any questions of this man?
No, I'm happy to hear about Pace because I think they're a very reputable company and they'll do well by you.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions of Mr. Sansone? Okay. Mr. Sansone, we are in November. My fellow council members excited knowing that's Pace. November, December, January, February. I think I'm going to ask for you to come back in February and give another update. Would that be possible?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that.
And will you physically be here?
I will physically be there. Yes.
Okay, you put that on your calendar that we are number one, that you will physically be here when we invite you to our February council meeting.
Well, do you have the date available to you right now?
The city manager will look at her phone and we'll give a second for modern technology, and we'll let you know, sir.
The second,
Okay.
So, there are 2 council meetings in February. It would either be February 11th or February 25th. Do you have a?
February 11th works great.
All
Okay.
right. Very
And
good.
I'll send a calendar reminder.
I will be there. Thank you. And I do apologize for not being there in person. I'm normally better about managing my calendar. So,
All righty. Well,
All right.
we've given you a long distance between today and then to be better prepared to
All
to be here. And we understand that business is business. So thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much
you.
for getting on and at least speaking with us via the phone. And we'll see you in February, sir.
thank you. I hope to have a better update. Thank you.
All righty.
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Shackley. Next, we'll move on to item number 3, which is the city manager's report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So as is typical with the first meeting of the month, we're going to talk about Olive Crossing. Don't have very many updates. But lot 3, so this is the multi-tenant retail space. Paris Baguette remains a tenant. They're still working through an edit to a lease for a restaurant/bar tenant. They do have 1 letter of interest signed from another retail tenant. And then, as we mentioned last month, those appraisals that they were waiting for have been completed, and they remain on track to receive financing in December so that they can essentially re-break ground in January to start construction. Lot 4 is the apartment complex, so that is completed. For November, they are 87% leased and 85% occupied. Lot 1 and 2, this is where Aldi is going to go. They continue to move quite rapidly on construction, and they are still on track for an opening at the beginning of 2025. They are tentatively, don't hold me to this, talking about opening in February of 2025. But understand, it's construction, there's weather, there could be delays. So today it's February 2025, but We'll see. Lot 5 is the office building. There is no update for the office building. And then lot 6 is the hotel. So O'Reilly Hospitality has agreed to underwrite the project. So they are in discussions with contractors, architects, and financing sources. So we hope to have that moving shortly. And as soon as we know something, we will bring that to you. And that's all I have. Oh no, news around town. So Domo is officially opened. If you were able to go to the soft opening or the grand opening on Saturday, this is a picture from St. Louis Magazine. So the St. Louis Magazine has a nice article about their grand opening in it. So I was not able to go to the grand opening, but those who have been say it's very good. It's ice cream. You get a variety of flavors that they will more than just mix into the ice cream base. So you kind of create your own special ice cream flavor. So go check it out. It's one of the retail tenants at the Easy Storage. Tomorrow is Coffee with the Mayor, and as it is November, the topic is Turkey Trot. So it's at 5 Oaks tomorrow morning at 8:45. David Moons and Miriam Seidenfeld will be there. David is the chair of Turkey Trot, and then Miriam Seidenfeld is the executive of the JFS Food Pantry. And all the donations for Turkey Trot benefit the food pantry. And speaking of Turkey Trot, registration is open. It is Thanksgiving morning, November 18th at 8 a.m. in Stacy Park. We have more than 1,100 participants signed up so far. So we are ahead of where we were last year for participants. So it's scheduled to be a pretty big event. And as you can see, we have 2 of our finest recreation employees getting ready for the Turkey Trot, and they are wearing the new Turkey Trot shirts this year. They are navy blue with this logo. So we encourage everybody to sign up and join us on Thanksgiving morning. And additionally, there is a raffle for a jersey from the goalie of St. Louis City Soccer Club. So you can buy those at Packet Pickup, or you can buy them online now, or stop by 5 Oaks. So you do not have to be present to win. Leaf collection is ongoing. The rain last week delayed them, but they are making their way around the city. So once again, please don't put your leaves in the street. Put them to the edge of your front yard, and they will be around to pick them up. Yes, sir.
Why did they change that? Because it for years it's always been put it in the street and they'll pick it up. Okay, then I've been doing it wrong for some 30 years then. Okay.
And even the report from the Public Works Director yearly within the articles reflects, don't put it in the street because that creates traffic havoc because people are getting in the other lane to get around.
Mhm.
So that's just a misunderstanding, but it is a common thing that happens in our community.
Common rule breaker.
It's all right.
And then lastly, we encourage everybody, as always, to sign up for This Week in Olivet. It is a weekly email news blast of various things going on throughout the city.
Does anyone have any questions of the city manager? All right, I'm going to let you go into staff reports, item
Great.
number 4, and I will also highlight that, ladies and gentlemen, we are so transparent in the city. It is just transparently transparent that you can go onto our website, you can click these links yourselves, and you have wonderful reports, current up-to-date reports, things that are happening, whether it be with our public works, with our planning department, with our Olivet Parks and Rec department. Very informative. So I'm going to hand it over, giving that praise. Go ahead.
Okay. So upcoming meetings, probably most importantly is that the November 26th city council meeting is canceled, but the Parks and Rec Planning and Community Design Commission will meet as normal in November. City council will meet again in a work session December 3rd, and then again planning and community design at a regularly scheduled meeting for December 5th. those are the upcoming things. And City Center will be closed the 28th and the 29th of November for the Thanksgiving holiday. So staff reports, starting with fire. They did some confined space rescue training. I believe that this is firefighter Guthrie. You can see right here as he is practicing rescuing individuals. This is the dummy in very confined spaces. So we hope that they never have to do that. But if they do, they have at least been through that very important training. Parks and Rec. So soccer has ended. They ended with 90 teams, 870 players, and 90 plus coaches and volunteers. By and large, it was a successful season. Basketball is games start in January, practices start in December. So far, we are at 450 kids and 62 teams for preschool to third grade. And as I recall, this is greater than what we've had in years past. So we're pretty excited about these sports. Both of these are in conjunction and cooperation with the Ladue School District. So a number of these games are played either on their fields or in their gyms. And so we're appreciative of the school district's cooperation. And then lastly, the Parks crew hosted a trail maintenance day with National Honor students from Ladue High School, the Olivet Sustainability Group, Olivet and Bloom, and then Scout Troop 344. They did this earlier in October, I believe, mid-October. So this is a great group to help maintain the trails. Planning. As you have driven westbound on Olive, you may have noticed that all of the trees in front of Olivet Center, this is where St. Louis Academy of Dance is, Party City, the diner, all of those trees have been taken down, and they have planted new trees that will not grow up into the power lines, and new bushes all along the front of that shopping center. So this is a good time to plant. Those roots can get established, and we look forward to growth in the spring and summer of next year. And then lastly, with planning, Fisher Rosemont, they are a subsidiary of Emerson, and they are taking the vacant enterprise building, which is basically at Dealman Industrial and Alice, and they're bringing 300 new employees into the city. So we're very excited to have them coming into the city. The planning department has been working with them on demolition permits and interior renovations. The fire department has been able to do training in there before they get in there and do their demolition. So we're excited for them to join the city of Olivet. The police department, back in October, on October 26th, they hosted National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, as well as partnering with St. Louis Help to take medical equipment. So 31 pounds of prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs were collected just on October 29th. And then since April of 2024 through October 29th, the police department has collected 330 pounds of medicine, which are then taken to an appropriate facility and destroyed. And just a reminder, the bin to collect medicine is open during normal business hours. That city center is open, so you don't have to wait for the specific day. And then St. Louis Help collected $3,000 worth of medical supplies, so they can give those to other individuals who need those medical supplies. And then for the 6th year, the Cops for Pets is happening. Collection bills will be available through December, so the beginning in December, and any donated items will go to the Olivet APA. Oops. And then Public Works. So this is the Centennial Greenway Detention Basin west of Napoleon, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is hold water. And in fact, it held those 7 inches of rain that we got from November 3rd to November 5th. So that's an impressive amount of water. But this detention basin will hopefully keep Indian Meadows Park from being swampy. I'm sure those of you who have used that park in the past have noticed that there were areas that were very swampy. And so hopefully this will help alleviate that. It may not get rid of all the spots, but it will help. But it also means that this water then didn't sheet flow into the rest of the park or into other people's properties. And so it hangs out in the detention basin and then is slowly released back into the ground. So it does not hold water all the time, only when it rains. And then lastly, the Centennial Greenway is almost completed. They're doing landscaping and fence installation, and they expect to be done in early December. Are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions of the city manager in this report?
I have just a brief one. Will they be doing a ribbon cutting for the gate, for the Centennial Gateway?
They will. I don't think they've had it scheduled yet.
Okay.
Does anybody know how quickly that retention pond drained the water out?
I don't think anybody measured that.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. If there's no further questions to the city manager, we'll move on to item number 5, which is the monthly financial reports. October 2024 monthly financials. Mr. Mann, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have our financial report up to the end of October in front of us today. And I don't have a whole lot to update us on. Revenue is still a little bit behind at 152, almost 153,000 from where we thought. The revenue or the expenditure side, though, everything has kind of come into line. We're below expectations by 29,000, which is really close on 3.5 million in expenditures. We go down the sheet there in the green line. We're at $3.5 million in excess of where our reserve policy is for the year. Sales taxes are still struggling a little bit, but more stable than what we've seen in the last several months. Property tax collections, we're going to look forward to those. The bills are out. I don't think we have them in the mail quite yet, but they're generated, and we expect that to make budget on the year. Utility taxes, mixed, but overall stable, which is good news. And then the Parks and Rec revenue category still remains behind expectations on that membership, but as the city manager talked about, basketball is a positive in that category for sure. A special note here, as if we look at the detail, we move the turkey trot revenue and expenditures into that other income category rather than in the Parks and Recreation, so we can get a little bit clearer picture over the beginning of the year of where those revenues are or where they end up, and so it gets a little bit better picture. The remaining ones, which includes those turkey trot revenues now, are overall mixed, but positive, and overall the revenues are more stable than what they have been in the last several months, which is great news. Expenditure side, these variances that we've been talking about, which have been negative, are kind of working their way out over time. And then we do have a chart there on page 2 that is the same chart we look at every month, but usually it's a line chart. Now we see it in bar format. And it's a little bit difficult to see, but there's on the left side, those are months, and those are 7 years worth of revenues, with the oldest one being on the left of each bar. What it illustrates here more than anything is we're on the orange bar that are the far right, which is the newest one of each one of these categories. And you can see really the magnitude of what the sales taxes are facing. Again, it's a little behind where we thought they would be, but we did expect this decline somewhat. Nope, with that, I don't have any other updates or anything, but more than happy to answer any questions or collect some more information for next time.
Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Mann? I like this chart the way it is. And it still is really interesting to see those revenues during the red year of 2020, 21. Yeah, as being some of the highest ever. So no other questions. I thank you, Mr. Mann, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Right, we'll go to item number 6, which is city council reports. I will start down here. I actually will start with Mr. Councilman Carl.
Earlier today, I attended the pension board meeting. I would say that they did their normal slight tweaking around the edges of the portfolio to rebalance it, but no big changes in strategy. But the investment advisor has requested an increase in the fee, which they voted to recommend to us, so we will be seeing that in the future.
The firm wants to increase their fee to the city that we are paying him for the services that they provide.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Does anybody else have any questions to Councilmember Carl? All right, thank you, sir, for that report. I will look to my left, my fellow Councilmember, Mr. Clark.
I have nothing to report at this night.
Okay. Councilmember Maxine Weil.
The Parks meeting is next week, but as the liaison, I want to say, on behalf of the council, because we were there and it was awesome, is that the Harvest Festival is fabulous. And we had a gorgeous night, and I believe I'll learn at the meeting next week, but there were between 500 and 600 people just in and out and all around. And we went through a lot of candy and a lot of popcorn and a lot of everything, but it was a great night. And Beverly, please extend our congratulations and kudos to your staff.
I enjoyed coloring the leaves as well. That was a lot of fun.
Right, yes, I can only ditto what my fellow council member said for the Harvest Festival, and it's my last year of coming with a costume and representing. Okay, what can I say? In a
Well, you can still come with a costume.
That's true. And I typically go last, but let me step back and ask my fellow pro tem, Rick Knox, for any report.
Yes, good evening. I was invited and participated in a breakfast honoring veterans yesterday at Old Bonham School. And they had a wonderful presentation with all the grades. There must have been 25, 30 veterans that were there all the way back from the Korean War all the way up into today's date. So I thank Old Bonham School, and it was a great program. This is the first time they've done this program, and hopefully they want to continue this every year. So thank you.
All right, that's great. Sorry, I missed that wonderful opportunity, but wonderful to see the kids appreciating those that come up into the line of service for our country, those past, present, and future. All right, so forgive me, I will go into my report. I did attend the Olivet Planning Community Design Commission that was on November 7th. As I noted earlier, a lot of the summary of what happens in the city, each department does a really, really good job with. One thing I do want to bring out to the council's attention is that sometimes you got public comments and sometimes you don't. And a trustee from Kingsbrook Estates came and spoke to the body with regard to short-term rental issues. They are the president of the Homeowners Association of Kingsbrook Estates, and he has indicated that there's no rules to regulate short-term rentals. There are some problems and issues that are occurring and popping up in this entire community. And he asked if the body could begin to take a look at that, and I am sure Mr. Trejo will bring that back to the city and begin to take a look at that. I don't know, but I'm reporting what a citizen came and presented in concerns to the Planning and Community Design Commission. Another topic that they spoke about under other business with regard to comprehensive plan update discussions. They discussed tree regulations. It was a general discussion that Mr. Trejo presented to the commissioners. Tree reports are now required by an arborist. We want to ensure tree protection regulations are being worked on by the city at this time, and what happens when trees die. So some of the tree languages and ordinances of other communities have been presented to this board for them to look at these three questions and begin to create something that deals with a tree regulations and tree ordinances. Part of the conversation included Kansas City asked for the tree replacement to be somewhere else if they're losing a tree within a new development. So a lot of interesting conversations for them to noodle on. 1124 Magnet Drive. This was a new single-family home. They came back with some improvements to their architectural and structural design, and their design was approved 4-0, and they will be applying for a building permit. And that is basically the summary of the Planning Community Design Commission meeting of November 7th. And with that, I will move on to item number 7, if there are no questions of me. All righty, we'll move on to item number 7, which is hearing from citizens. I have 4 cards here. And I'm going to start with card number 1, then I'm going to go to 3, and then I'm going to go to 2 and 4, because 2 and 4 are on the same issue. All right, Miss Nina Miller.
Hi, I'm Nina Miller, 36 Pricewoods Lane. This past week, I've struggled with the many difficult questions the election posed, but I refuse to lose my optimism for the future. And I'd like to express sincere appreciation for the residents of the Olivet community, our city government, and our public servants. Living in Olivet means being part of a vibrant, inclusive, and diverse environment where everyone feels valued and welcomed. Everyone has a voice, and we feel heard. We have a rich tapestry of cultures and backgrounds that enhances our daily lives and fosters understanding and connection among our residents. We celebrate our differences and support one another in building a strong community. This is a very good place to live.
Say so.
Thank you, Nina, for your words. This is typically something that I don't allow, but I will allow it. It is a very personal time. So if you want to say something.
Generally, we don't say anything after people make statements, but I have to. Thank you. That means a lot that you would take time to come here in your evening, your time off, or your free time to at least acknowledge the work that's being done by the people who work in this community. It's people like yourself that makes Olivet a great place. And I thank you for your comments.
I think we all agree with that, and I know that I responded to you, and I will just say, I said to Nina that I kind of feel like I'm going into my own cocoon. My cocoon is the city of Olivet and the county of St. Louis, because we are a very diverse, welcoming, and caring community. So I really was kind of hoping you'd show up tonight and you would do what you did. So I appreciate that, Nina. I really do. All right, card number 2 is Mr. Larry Koenig.
Larry Koenig, 1131 Hilltop. I'm going to pass around a picture for you to look at while I discuss the next part of what I want to talk about tonight. I'm talking about the Irvington Apartments. And that picture is taken from the back of my house, showing what it's looking like back there now. My big concern right now is all the stormwater retention they put in. Originally, they only showed on what they submitted to PCDC about 3 or 4 stormwater collection sites, and they have covered that entire site with stormwater collection basins. And my biggest concern is that they're going to put so much water into the ground that we're going to have leakage in all our basements around there. I just did some quick calculations. The site's 5 acres. I did a calculation figuring they were covering at least 4 acres with solid surface that would all be piped into these retention basins. They're going to put, with a 1-inch rain on covering 4 acres, they're going to put 108,000 gallons of water into the ground. And that water is going to go somewhere. And I just have a bad feeling that it's going to end up in our basements. It's going to cause problems with foundations and hydrostatic pressure, causing walls to bow. And I think we're going to be in for a big mess once this is all completed and all that stormwater is forced into the ground. They dug one of the basins behind my house, and it was so deep, they ran a big cat bulldozer down there to level the ground, and you could not see the top of the bulldozer. It was dug that deep, and it's going to hold that much water. And I'm just very concerned about that. The picture I passed around shows what it looks like from the back of my house. They raised the ground level so high behind my house, the ground level now is where the tops of the houses were on Irvington Court 4. On top of that, there's going to be a 5-story building. Would any of you want to live behind that? I ask you seriously, would any of you want that in your backyard? I don't think so. I don't think anybody here would want that. Now, the good news is this is the last council meeting I'm coming to because I have a contract on a new home in unincorporated St. Louis County. Because I cannot continue to live in a city that does something like that to its residents. PCDC is supposed to be the breaker on that. They're supposed to judge and make sure that the development's a good development, that it's not going to adversely affect your residents. And they didn't do it. They just rubber stamped this and sent it on through. This never should have been built. It never should have been developed. That site should have been developed as attached residential. You wanted more density on the site, you could have got it. You had 22 homes there on 5 acres. Across the street, he had 2 acres and he got 33 condos on there. They could have gotten easily 50 or 60 attached residential homes back there that would have been able to follow the existing terrain, and we wouldn't have had problems. It just does not fit. And I cannot continue to live in a city that does that to me. I cannot continue to live in a city that ignores me when I call and ask. I come to the council and ask you to ban construction traffic from my street. And we've got construction traffic on Hilltop because you wouldn't do anything. I can't live in a city that allows a builder, that they put cost savings for a builder ahead of the citizens and allowing them to plant the prairie back there. For 3 years, we had the prairie back there. I have seasonal allergies. I only had problems before in the spring. With that prairie back there, I had allergy problems from spring till we had the first frost, and it killed everything off. I'd wake up in the morning sometimes after being outside in the yard. I couldn't even hardly breathe. It was so bad. I asked you to take care of that, and nothing happened. And I've had enough. I cannot continue to live here, and I'm leaving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. I'm sorry to hear the dissatisfaction. What I will take from Mr. Koenig's concerns is that we do go back and look at the engineering and everything that's there with regards to what the design is and what the impact is for what's expected. That does look huge, but I am not the expert. And I know that we have someone that we use as well to be addressing, looking at stormwater and the designs. Is that not correct?
We'll contact the Metropolitan Sewer District who
Okay.
oversees that for the region, and then we can check with our consultants regarding their response.
Okay, appreciate that. Okay, thank you very much. Is it Kwanzing? And I apologize for any mispronunciation, sir.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good evening, City Council members. I'm the trustee of the Best Woodland subdivision. It's in our, it's a private community with the jurisdiction for at least the past 38 years, our residents have shouldered the cost and responsibility of maintaining our subdivision's street, which has now deteriorated to a state that require complete repavement. So professional assessments have recommended a full repaving, and also and although the similar recommendations were made several years ago, we were unable to proceed due to the significant financial burden. So the current cost of the repaving is estimated at $57,900, and the extent of deterioration has made any longer waiting unfeasible. As a result, we are reaching out to request support from the city in the form of an interest-free loan, repayable over some certain years through our property taxes. So this should alleviate the financial strain on our residents and allow us to maintain a safe and financial street for our community. So it's worth noting that although we are a private subdivision, we contribute to the same property tax as the public communities, and additionally fund our own services. So given these contributions, we feel it is fair to request the city's assistance with this essential infrastructure need. We greatly appreciate your consideration of this urgent request and look forward to your support in preserving our community's safety and quality of life.
Thank you, sir. Let me just summarize what I think I heard you say. Your streets are in disrepair. You didn't join the NID. Now you want the city to help fix your streets.
Sorry?
So what you're asking now is that your streets are in disrepair. It's expensive for you all as a private subdivision to take on that repair.
Right.
And you're asking the city to take on that cost and that repair.
No, we ask for some interest-free loan. So
Okay,
we
you're
can
asking for
pay
an
it in
interest-free
some certain
loan.
years, like
Okay.
a 10 years loan. So we can pay, we can afford it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I think,
Basswood.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that right. Yeah, Basswood. And they may not have done his address, so it's 1114 Basswood Lane.
Yes, I live
Okay,
there.
that's okay, you're okay. So, we have had this conversation before, but we will take it back. And you're asking for a zero interest loan. We will take it back and look and see what's out there for you and as a private subdivision, okay?
Okay,
All righty.
thank you.
All right, another gentleman that lives at 1120 Basswood Lane, Tom Walk.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Tom Walk. Me and Busta love the greenways, trails, and the work that's being done around Olivet. It's so nice. I want to say that my first point is that utility, safety, convenience, and speed are not just for cars alone. Olivet has to plan for a future with more than just motor vehicles. We can have, there's a number of options, and we were talking about water retention. We have to, the weather, has anybody noticed weather changing? Oh, climate change is real. One of the predictions is that we're gonna have more sporadic, increased rainfalls and extended droughts. So we have to think about water retention and how we're going to deal with climate change and how we can change our infrastructure, or how we can plan to adapt for what's coming. But we do have our infrastructure now, And I'm here to support my neighbors. Oh, and by the way, thank you for getting that statement. I agree with my, I join my Olivet neighbors in thanking you all for continuing the day-to-day city work as we face the upcoming Republican change in federal government, and who knows what's going to happen. But it's like we have these crises every election, and you guys have been here. You said 30 years or something, I think I heard. Thank you so much. Bus and I would like to walk around a lot. We walked from downtown. We had the honor of joining Veterans for Peace at the Veterans Day Parade downtown. I'm sorry, am I out of time? Oh, 1 minute left? All right. We walked through the parade and we walked from downtown through back home to Olivet. And and I'm also part of coalitions. We can join the citizens coalitions with urbanists and cycling pedestrian advocates. There are some Discord channels and things we can do to advocate for more than just vehicles. But while we're here for vehicles, oh, and I want to thank also our first responders. My brother John was a fireman, and I appreciate those pictures that were shown up there. They remind me of my brother John was in the newspaper for saving people many years ago. So that is real situations, and thank you for practicing that. But I have to get back to my neighbors here. And we need paving on our street, and I didn't join the NID. I wasn't aware of it, but we could use help. Financing would help us. While we have our current infrastructure here, we need paving on our street, and any help we can get from the city. We pay property taxes, so whatever help we can get from Olivet will be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Can I say one more thing? I have to apologize. Last time I was here about a year and a half ago, I said there wasn't a light over the flag pole in the park down by the community center, and there is, and I apologize for making that mistake. Thanks for whoever pointed it out to me.
All right, thank you. All right, next we'll go to item number 8, bill number 3035, Madam City Clerk.
Bill number 3035, an ordinance to approve a final subdivision plat titled 9504 Old Bonham Subdivision. Second reading.
Mr. Trejo, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Again, my name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Olivet. And before you tonight is Bill 3035, which was read for the first time at your October 22nd meeting, and of course today. It is for a 2-lot split of the property address is 9504 Old Bonham Road. And the petitioner, which is Boulevard Homes, being represented by Robert Wilmering, who is in attendance here, is proposing to subdivide the property into two lots. Those 2 lots will primarily face Old Bonham, and then it's nestled between Jacqueline Court and Bowood on the west. The City of Olivet has adopted, of course, a subdivision regulations consistent with state statutes, and has administratively authorized the commission to oversee the subdivision process to ensure the orderly development of land, preserve land and improvement values, ensure proper legal descriptions, and make sure that the property is buildable, and then establish the standards for the review, which it has put in place. The commission is in charge in reviewing that, making sure that the preliminary plat process complies with the city's codes, and again enhances the overall city within itself. As part of that process, the commission required additional right-of-way along Old Bonham Road to make sure it's consistent all the way through. Second, it requested that a new sidewalk be built along Old Bonham Road. There's an existing sidewalk there that was built, of course, around 2015. In there, however, it did not meet fully ADA standards, so it had some turnaround pads. That sidewalk will be removed and then be fully ADA compliant. Required an arborist report identifying the various trees and species, conditions, and health on the lot to help assist in terms of the review and analysis of what trees would be kept on the property. It required the developer not to remove any new trees or any trees on the property until it went through the new home reviews, which are now being reviewed by staff. and required that they enhance the setback along Old Bonham Road because we had received a lot of comments and concerns in the past that buildings were getting too close to Old Bonham Road. So instead of the minimum 25, they requested that the developer provide a 35-foot setback, which is 10 feet beyond what the code requires. But in addition to that, the new homes that are being reviewed by staff provide up to, I think the current one is at 80 feet back. And so it provides that great open space that we all come to enjoy along Old Bonham Road. And then to limit and prohibit vehicular access on Old Bonham Road. The property is currently addressed on Old Bonham Road. The new properties will address Bowood on the west and Jacqueline Court on the east. And those have been incorporated into the preliminary subdivision plat. So tonight before you is the final subdivision plat, which is the legal instrument that's recorded in the St. Louis County Recorder of the Deeds. It's a plain and simple instrument that provides a visual illustration of the property and the legal descriptions of the property. Authorizes the actions today would authorize the mayor to sign, court clerk to certify, and then record that with St. Louis County Register of Deeds. Be glad to answer any specific questions.
Thank you, Mr. Trejo. Does the council have any questions of Mr. Trejo with regards to this particular ordinance request?
I do. Mr. Trejo, on you said that the sidewalk will be redone,
That is correct, sir.
and what specifications will that be done?
It'll be a concrete sidewalk, but it'll meet the minimum requirements for the ADA, and I believe that is 4 feet wide. Right now, I think it's 36 inches or 3 feet with what we call some bump outs. I think there are 2 along this the current corridor that allow an opportunity for somebody to move off to the side and allow somebody to pass through. The new sidewalks will be fully 4 feet in width. Mhm.
You answer my question.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, but I thought that there had been a decision that all future sidewalks would be 5 feet. Bingo.
So that's where my memory went as well. So you spoke first.
Yeah, I'd have to.
After we did Old Bonham with the bump outs, the decision was made that all future sidewalks throughout the city would be 5 feet wide.
I'll take a look at the code, but if there was a decision, that would have been a modification into chapter 405. I don't recall any amendments at that point, but I will certainly check to make sure.
Maybe it might have been just conversation, but that's what I recall too.
I know along Olive Boulevard, the requirement is no less than 5.
No, but I think we made it throughout this, had a conversation and decided to go with that throughout the city after our experiences on Old Bonham with the bump outs.
Yeah.
So, if you could just go back and. look.
Absolutely. And I'll
And then,
check as soon
and
as-
then I had a second question,
Mhm.
and it's about what, after the property is subdivided, where will the driveways come from for those 2 lots? Off of Beaumont and off of
Correct.
Jacqueline?
We would take off the current driveway point from Old Bonham, remove that, and then one lot would access Jacqueline Court on the east, and the other one would access Bowood Court
Beauwood, not
on the
Beaumont,
west.
Beauwood. Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? If there are no other questions, then I will entertain the recommended action that is on our screen.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Bill number 3035, an ordinance to approve a final subdivision plot titled 9504 Old Bonham subdivision.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. If there's no additional follow-up, and I will caveat that Mr. Trejo will look at that, understanding whether it's policy. I will ask City Clerk to call the vote.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil. Chairman Pro Tem Knox.
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
The motion is passed. Bill 3035 becomes ordinance 2805.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience because we've got a long agenda because we don't have a second meeting this month. All right, the next item is item number 9, request for approval of a server replacement. Council's asked to consider the request to approve purchase of a replacement administrative server. Who's handling this one?
Sure,
All
well-
right, Mr. Mann, good evening again.
Good evening, once again, your way as well. So in 2017, we purchased a server that houses a lot of the services and document and file management for the city administrative departments and fire department. And based on the critical nature of what it does, it's approaching the end of its lifespan, and we're asking for a replacement.
All right, does anyone have any questions or the technical skill set, Greg, hint, hint, to ask any questions with regards to the upcoming server?
I didn't see it needed to be asked, so.
Okay, all right. All right, now with that, if there's no questions with regard to the server, I will entertain the recommended action I noted on our screen.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve an agreement with Certified Nets in the amount not to exceed $14,000 for the purchase and installation of a Dell server.
That's been moved and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Darren, if I could ask a question, this is a much bigger server than the other server?
It will look just like the other one. The
Okay.
capacity wise, yes.
Capacity wise,
The-
okay.
yep, you bet.
Okay, thanks. All right, item number 10 is the approval to purchase new tasers. Chief Andreski, good evening to you, ma'am. How are you?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Yes, this agenda item is just to purchase new police department tasers. Our current department tasers will have exceeded their warranties the end of December this year. So they're due for replacement. And as you all know, we implemented tasers back in 2010 as a less than lethal option when dealing with dangerous situations, combative people. And we did budget for this item in FY '25 for the amount of $18,500. The approval purchase would include 8 tasers, 8 taser battery packs, 10 duty use cartridges to supplement our current supply, as well as 50 training cartridges, not to exceed that total amount of $18,500. The quote that you have attached does include a 5% discount that's valid until the end of the year. So if we do purchase prior to December 31st, we'd come in just a little over $1,000 under budget. So with that, again, recommended action is approving the purchase for those 8 tasers, 8 battery packs, 10 duty use cartridges, and 50 training cartridges. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, does anybody have any questions of the chief?
I do.
Go ahead.
The 50 training cartridges, do those actually shock the people like the other ones, or
So
do you get the?
they could, but when our officers do their training, they fire their training cartridges at like a kind of like a dummy, essentially cardboard. So it's just practicing the use of it. So unless somebody wants to volunteer for that, which we
Only one person did that.
We know
God
somebody
bless
that
them,
used
but
to volunteer that volunteered. one.
2. Okay.
Two?
Two?
If you change
I
your
know the
mind,
one.
if
I
you
don't know
change
the
your
other.
mind, you can let us know.
No.
Barb.
And the chief. And the
Darren?
fire chief.
The fire
Darren.
chief.
Darren, you did it? Oh, my God.
Never again.
Darren.
Never again.
Don't tase me, bro.
Darren and Barb. Ooh, ooh. God
That's
bless
what they
you.
had.
I'd be happy to make a move.
All right, please do.
I'd like to make a motion that the council approve to purchase 8 taser X26Ps, 8 tasers XP, 8 X26P battery packs, 10 duty use cartridges to supplement the current unexpired stock, and 50 training cartridges not to exceed 18,500.
Second.
That was a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's why he's done.
That's why you found.
All right, if there are no other questions, please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
Have you seen the latest technology where instead of chasing after cars, and they shoot that magnet and it connects right onto the car? Interested if we can have any grant money for that. Okay, all right. No, they're metal magnet. Next item is the purchase of an ambulance. Chief Carmen.
Yes,
Good evening, sir.
good evening.
All right.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, Ms. Shackley. My name is Steve Carmen, Fire Chief, City of Olivet Fire Department. The time has come to upgrade our ambulance and ensuring we continue providing the highest quality of service to our community. To make the best possible decision, a dedicated committee was formed consisting of representatives from each crew and our medical officer. After developing a comprehensive RFP, we received 5 competitive bids from reputable vendors. Following a thorough review of each proposal, the committee has selected AEV as the preferred provider. AEV impressed the team with its interior setup, which aligns well with our operational needs. Our current ambulance will be traded in at a value of $35,000, helping to offset the cost. The estimated timeline for the new ambulance build is approximately 2.5 to 3 years. This investment will significantly enhance the emergency response capabilities and ensure we remain prepared to serve our community for years to come. We do have the money budgeted in this year's CIP. And along with this, I want to talk about just real quickly a power load that eventually will come back and request the power load. We can't order the power load right now because the warranty starts at the time we take delivery. And a delivery of the power load would be within 3 months, and the ambulance takes 3 years. So our warranty will start when the power load is in storage. So in order to offset that warranty issue, we're going to wait at a later date and come back to you and make that request, probably about 6 months from the ambulance being built or delivered. I'm sorry, not built. So the Olivet Fire Department is seeking approval for the city manager to proceed with an agreement with AEV to purchase the new ambulance with a cost not to exceed $325,000. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Is the 325,000, does that include the trade-in or is it?
That's the price after the trade-in.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Chief, the $325,000 won't be due until we take. or
I
how's that
believe at the
work?
time, I think it's when we take delivery of the ambulance. I'm not 100% sure on how they write the contract up. I've never done one with AEV, but I'm sure that that's probably the way that works.
Either that or what they may do, excuse me, is ask for a portion of it for the chassis.
Oh, yeah.
And so, once they're ready to, build the chassis, they may ask for the portion to pay for that. And then the remainder upon delivery.
Okay, and then, so then the question I have is with the power load, how much does a power load cost now?
36,000 to about $40,000. And we do have that money in CIP budgeted as well.
Okay, so that will be budgeted and paid for when we're getting ready to take possession of the.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just from my own recollection, we already purchased a power load for the current ambulance.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
So here's my question. It's gonna take 3 years, so I'm gonna give you 2.5 because you got 6 months to sit there and buy the power and request a power load.
Yes.
But 2.5 to 3 years to build this ambulance, and we have been given a cost minus the payout value to turning in our other ambulance. I'm gonna ask a tough question. How do we know that that price isn't going up? How do we know that we're locked in and we're gonna get what we want regardless of the cost of materials for the next 2.5 years that's gonna be building this ambulance?
Because we're signing a contract with the price in it.
Yes.
Hey, I just want to put that out there in the public.
Yes. And that contract will be signed soon.
Okay. I just wanted to put
So-
that out there in the public. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right.
Absolutely.
With that, if there's no other questions of the chief, I will ask for the recommended action noted on our screen.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with American Response Vehicles to purchase a new ambulance not to exceed $325,000.
Second.
Moved, I think by everybody, hopefully, and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Thank you very much. All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
go to item number 12. Chief Carmen, I'm gonna assume that this is yours as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Purchase of structural firefighting gear. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, Ms. Yackley. My name's Steve Carmen, Fire Chief, City of Olivet Fire Department. Structural firefighting gear is absolutely essential for protecting our firefighters as they work in hazardous environments. The specialized gear provides critical shield against the extreme temperatures that can cause severe burns and other injuries, allowing firefighters to operate with reduced risk of harm. By effectively shielding the body from direct exposure to high heat and flames, this gear ensures the firefighters can carry out their duties with the confidence and security they need. As part of our improvement plan for the fiscal year 2025, the fire department identified the need to replace its structural firefighting gear from 2013. According to NFPA 1970, standard firefighting gear must be retired after service of 12 years to ensure the highest standards of safety and effectiveness. Fortunately, the city's procurement policy allows departments to piggyback on existing bidding processes, which streamlines the acquisitions like this. During the department's research into the RFP process, we discovered that Sourcewell, a respected cooperative purchasing organization, has recently completed an RFP specifically for structural firefighting gear. Upon review, our finance director carefully assessed Sourcewell's procedures and confirmed they closely align with the City of Olivet's procurement policy. With this opportunity, the department successfully negotiated a quote from Sentinel Emergency Solutions, the local supplier, to purchase the new structural firefighting gear. The fire department is requesting approval for the city manager to enter into an agreement with Sentinel Emergency Solutions for the purchase of 4 new sets of structural firefighting gear with a total cost not to exceed $17,587.85. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer questions.
Does anybody have any questions? I just want to follow up. The last time we bought gear was 2013.
No.
Wow, how time flies.
Oh,
No, he said no.
You said no or yes?
no.
Oh.
That is not the last time we purchased gear. We never went in front of the council before to purchase the gear because it was looked at as one set, and the amount that costs was not beyond the amount.
Okay.
And so we're buying 4 sets this time, so now we have to come to the
Okay,
council.
got you. We're over that monetary limit of not coming to us. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All righty. If there's no questions of the chief, I will ask the city clerk to please poll the council.
Could I make a motion?
Oh,
I will be happy to make a
okay, go ahead
motion.
and make a motion. I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to authorize the City of Olivet Fire Department to purchase 4 sets of structural firefighting gear for the Sentinel Emergency Solutions for a price not to exceed $17,587.85.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox.
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
All right, we are on item number 13.
Thank
which
you.
is the purchase
Thank
of a
you.
2025 Chevrolet Tahoe for the fire department. Good
Good evening.
evening, Assistant Fire Chief Fain. How are you?
I am well. How are you, ma'am?
All righty, sir. Go ahead and proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Mayor, council members, Ms. Yackley, my name's Tim Fain, Assistant Fire Chief, Olivet Fire Department. The purpose of a command vehicle is to serve as a mobile command center for managing and coordinating emergency response operations. A command vehicle is essentially an office on wheels that allows command officers to make informed decisions based on firsthand knowledge while at the scene, such as direct emergency operations of all firefighting activities, life-saving skills, and fire prevention operations. Track firefighters' tasks and assignments, communication with dispatch, other command officers that might be on scene that you've assigned, and sometimes law enforcement through our mobile communication devices. Respond to difficult to access areas such as parking garages, Centennial Greenway, even our parks. You know, we do have the UTV, but sometimes we can get there sooner. Currently, the command vehicle is a 2019 Dodge Durango with 108,816 miles on it. The Tahoe has been budgeted in the FY25 capital improvement for this. And the recommended action that I'm asking for tonight is a motion to authorize the city manager to purchase one 2025 Chevy Tahoe four-wheel drive special service vehicle from Don Brown Chevrolet and provide its upfitting by the lights and siren guys for a total project cost not to exceed $70,000. If you have any questions, I will be happy to ask.
All right, I don't have any of you right now. I have point of order here in my agenda. I do not see item 13, which is the purchase of 2025 Chevy Tahoe in the agenda that I click to go to our meeting. Item 13 on that agenda is hearing from citizens. I understand you, but I'm letting you know what the public goes to and what they're clicking.
Agenda is on your screen, on your dial screen. Is it possible you brought that up a little earlier?
I did.
Maybe refresh it.
Refresh it. Okay. Okay.
Took it off the mic.
All right. Thank you much. The refresh. God bless the refresh button. Okay. All righty. And with that, are there any questions of the fire chief with regards to this purchase? If there are none, I will entertain the recommended action on our screen.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to authorize the city manager to purchase one 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe four-wheel drive special service vehicle from Don Brown Chevrolet and provide for its upfitting by the lights and sirens guys for a total project cost not to exceed $70,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded, please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes,
The motion is passed.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Assistant Chief, thank you. No disrespect. All right, item number 14 is hearing from citizens again. I don't see anybody that's on the Zoom meeting as a attendee or a participant. And I do see two people in attendance in our audience that have remained with us. Thank you very much. Any additional hearing from citizen comments? Gone. We will again acknowledge the appreciative and beautiful words that were expressed by Ms. Miller. All right, the next thing that we will go to is a review and acceptance of the meeting minutes. Item number 15. I will say that I did look at the meeting minutes and I saw nothing that needed to be corrected or updated. I don't know if anybody else did. If we did not, then we can just acknowledge, accept the meeting minutes. I'll entertain that.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion, we accept the council minutes from October 22nd, 2024.
Second.
Moved and second to acknowledge and accept the minutes as written for the city council meeting of October 22nd, 2024. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes,
Motion is passed.
thank you. Item number 16. City Attorney's Report.
I have no report this evening.
I didn't forget about you. All righty, I appreciate that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are to item 17, which is adjournment. Before we adjourn, I will remind everybody, we do not have a second city council meeting. It will be Thanksgiving. I will allow everyone to express their well wishes for holidays. here tonight for those that may want to chime in and listen to us later. So it's been great. Thank you for your time. And I'll open it for holiday wishes to my peers, to our public.
Happy holidays to everyone for the city of Olivet and everyone else who's listening. It is truly a blessing just to see another year. I hope your next year is just as blessed as 2024.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Carl, anything?
I just wish everyone a happy set of holidays and enjoy your time.
All right. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved
Very good. And second.
and seconded. Meeting adjourned, 8:21 PM.
All righty. See y'all.